What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today is Expanded Thursday, and today we're finally going over the Mew Jolteon Glaceon Vileplume deck. Now, first off, I want to give a shout out to Kevin Cranberry Murphy for the original deck list that I edited to make kind of my own. It's a little bit different than his list that he used at regionals, but I know he was playing this crazy deck at regionals, and I thought today would be a perfect day to showcase it all for Expanded Thursday. And let's go over and let's see what's going to be about. Now, our main attacker is going to be this Mew. We know what Mew does. It has the ability Memories of Dawn. This Pokemon can use the attacks of any of your Pokemon, basic Pokemon. Oh my goodness, sorry, hiccuped. You use the attacks of any of your basic Pokemon in play, but you still need the necessary energies to use each attack. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to use Mew and copy certain attacks. Now, the first attack that we could copy is Jolteon-EX Flash Raise attack. It does 70 damage, and during your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage done to his Pokemon by attacks from basic Pokemon. So this way your Mew cannot be hurt by Pokemon that are basic, like Night March, like Mew EX, like Yveltal, like Yveltal EX, like Seismitoad, like Darkrai, there's so many different things that do attack that are basics in Expanded, and Jolteon does help you out a lot. But if they are an evolution Pokemon, like Trevenant, you have Glaceon-EX, and it has Crystal Wave. I guess against like Trevenant, you probably just want to attack with Glaceon-EX, and that's it, because they can still hit your bench Pokemon. But during your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from evolution Pokemon, so that way your Glaceon cannot be hurt by evolutions. Now, you know, some decks, they're kind of different, like metal decks, they can use like Bronzong maybe, to attack with you instead of just their basic Pokemon. Mega Quas is a little bit different as well, and there's all these weird kind of like mid like evolution, like they have some evolutions, they have some not evolutions, and that's why we play Vileplume. Vileplume can help shut down your opponent's deck. Irritated Ball can make it where they can't play item cards, and with the power of this Vileplume, you can shut down those setup decks, so they can never set up, they can never get out their Bronzongs, they can never get out Waste Retreat into a Bronzong, they can't really attack with Mega Rayquaza because they can't play item cards. Of course they can play Shaymins, but they can't discard cards to make Shaymin draw more cards, which is great. And that's why this deck is so strong. You're going to use Mew to copy Jolteon or Glaceon, which is really, really nice. Now, one interesting thing that Kevin did have in his list was his Manaphy-EX with the Aqua Tube. Each of your Pokemon that has water energy attached to it has no retreat cost. And this is great because in Expanded, Fright 9 Yveltal is kind of big. And if your opponent Lysandre Vileplume has Fright 9 the active, you cannot retreat it because it is makes it where the tools do not work. So Float Stone does not work. But you can attach a Blend Energy onto it to give it free retreat. Blend Energy does count out as a water, lightning, fighting, and it's steel type, but that does give it free retreat, which is really, really nice. And that's why Manaphy is in here. It gives everybody free retreat if they have a water energy attached to it. The deck plays 2 Shaymin and 4 Unown to help set up, 2 Shaymin to help set up for 6 cards in your hand, and 4 Unown for the Pharaoh letter to discard it and draw a new card. So that's all the Pokemon in the deck, and it's a pretty, it's kind of complicated, but not really. You just use Mew, you just copy Jolteon's or Glaceon's attack, and you pretty much just go from there and see what happens. So there we go. You play 2 Battle Compressor. I'm actually thinking about cutting these. They are pretty much dead cards, maybe add some more in or something, so that way you don't discard early cards. Kevin was playing Revitalizer, but I don't know how much I like Revitalizer in this deck. I know a lot of people like Revitalizer. He was playing like, I think he was playing like 2 less Level Ball and more Revitalizer. I'll go over in a second why I like Level Ball more. But 1 Computer Search. But what you can do with Battle Compressor is discard like an Oddish and a Gloom if they are in your deck and you already have a Gloom out in the field before you get Vileplume out, so that way you don't draw into it, which is really nice. You could discard more Forest of Giant Plants, so that way you don't draw to it later on after you don't need Vileplume anymore, which is really nice. The deck plays Computer Search for consistency reasons. The deck plays 4 Level Ball. Now, Level Ball is great because you can search out Mew, you can search out Unown, Gloom, Oddish, which is really, really neat. 4 Trainers Mail, 4 Ultra Ball, which is really, really nice. No BS Seekers. My trade is complete. I just traded for a Vileplume in Legacy. I'm still needing 3 more of those. There we go. But we play 1 AZ, pick up 1 Pokemon back into your hand. You could pick up like a, I don't know, if you don't have Manaphy out, you could pick up somebody. But You could cut AZ for another water energy to give people free retreat if you want to. You could use it to pick up damaged Pokemon as well, because for the most part, you are going to retreat Mew turn 1, because both Jolteon and Glaceon need 2 colors and a form of water or lightning to attack. So Mew is not attacking until turn number 2. So you do have to retreat into a Jolteon or another Mew, just let it get knocked out, unfortunately. So you can play AZ, maybe pick up a damaged Pokemon. 1 Lysandre Pokemon off the bench, 1 in for Sycamore. I'm actually wanting to play more in, because I don't want to discard cards in our hand, like the blend of prisms. Like, I want to hold on to these as much as I can. 4 Force of Giant Plants so that we can get out Vileplume turn 1. 2 Float Stone to give our Vileplumes free retreat. Not only do we have Manaphy, but we have Float Stones as well. Now we play 4 Blend Energies. These Blend Energies count as a Lightning, Water, Steel, and Fighting when attached to a Pokemon, which is really, really nice because it is Lightning and Water, which covers both Jolteon and Glaceon. 4 DCE, because, you know, Jolteon does need an Energy DCE, Glaceon needs an Energy and DCE, and 4 Prism Energies, but the only downside of Prism Energies is they only work on basic Pokemon. You can attach it to your evolutions, but they do not work on them. They count as a colorless energy, not a special energy, or not a basic, not a regular kind of energy. If this Pokemon this card is attached to is a basic Pokemon, this card provides every type of energy, but provides 1 energy at a time. But I do like that you can play 4 Prism and 4 Blend to help activate Jolteon and or Glaceon, which I do like a lot. But there is the Mew, Jolteon, Glaceon, Vileplume deck. Like I said, it's pretty much a shutdown deck. Your opponent pretty much can't do anything. And if your opponent does play a setup deck, which allows them to play like a basic and an evolution to attack, Vileplume can shut them down. If they're playing an all basic deck, you can use Jolteon. If they're playing all the evolution deck, you can use Glaceon, which is really, really nice. And I do like this deck a lot. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of gimmicky stuff, but it does work out. It does work a lot. But hopefully during this deck introduction, hopefully it's not too confusing, and let's see the deck in action. Alright, putting against LYCIX, playing a Steel, Dark, Fighting, and a Colors. So this is most like an Yveltal deck with like an Archeops, maybe a Gallade. We won the Clay Flip, so if we can get the turn 1 Vileplume, we can make our opponent cannot probably get out their Gallade. We gotta, oh man, it's kind of like we have 2 bad starters. So put Unown in the active spot. Alright, and let's see what my opponent is playing. Like I said, most likely it's going to be an Yveltal deck. We'll press done, and let's see what's going to happen. They're selecting their starter Pokemon. And let's see what's going to be. What Pokemon is it going to be? Now, this game, we probably just want to get out a Mew, Jolteon. Just do it that way. We could just attack with Jolteon. Jolteon does hit for weakness, so we could go that route if we want to. But let's see what my opponent decides to do. It looks like they are going to put somebody down. Or maybe they're not. They're debating it a lot. But right now we have a Love Ball. We can get out Oddish. We can Shaymin some. There's an Yveltal. Okay. So we get a Battle Compressor, which is pretty much not the greatest right now, because we need everything in our deck. Like, Battle Compressor is great, kind of late game to discard, like, plants and other stuff so we don't draw into it. So we're going to Love Ball, and with the Love Ball, we're going to get out a Oddish. It looks like our other Vileplume is prized, which is kind of unfortunate, but maybe we can manage our resources enough to be okay. Oh no, there's Vileplume right there. Okay, so we got another Vileplume in the hand, which is great. Okay, so grab the Oddish. And Manaphy's in here as well, which is great. My opponent does have an Yveltal with Fright Knight, so we can't use tools to retreat our Pokemon. We're going to Ultra Ball, discard the Lysandre and a Battle Compressor. And with this, we'll get out a Jolteon. That seems like, yeah, we're going to grab Jolteon-EX. We will put that down on the field. We are going to Shaymin, setting up for a whole new cards. And let's see, what do we get off the Shaybay? Don't let me down, Shaymin. Alright, so that's a pretty good hand. We do have the opportunity to get a turn 1 if we want to. We'll Love Ball for a Gloom. The question is, do we want to get the turn 1 or not? I mean, we have a lot of item cards still left in our deck, like the, we got the Float Stone, Computer Search. We have another Vileplume and more Ultra Balls, so we could get it. Yeah, we have 3 Ultra Balls left. So I don't think I'm going to do it just right now. We'll put down a Gloom on this guy. We will Prism Energy the Jolteon, and we're just going to Sycamore, discard it. Well, yeah, let's Sycamore, discard our hand, draw 70 cards, and let's see what do we get. There's a Vileplume, Float Stone, which is useless. We can't Ultra Ball to get out a Glaceon, which could be useful. Let's use Feral Letter first and see what we get. Alrighty, there's a Glaceon, which is going to be pretty much useless. So I'm going to Ultra Ball, discard the Glaceon and the Float Stone, and with this, we are going to grab a, Manaphy. Yep, we're gonna grab a Manaphy. Now, the only bad thing is we really can't attack till, like, turn 3, because we have to retreat the Unown and everything, which is kind of annoying. We'll put down Vileplume, and we will pass on to my opponent's turn. But next turn, we can put a Blend Energy on the, we'll put a Prism Energy on the Jolteon, so we have the Blend Energies for the Vileplumes if they do Lysandre that guy up. So there's a Dark Energy to the active, okay? And let's see what else does my opponent have. A Lysandre maybe, bring up the Vileplume, but they do that, we can just free retreat it. There's a Lysandre, gonna bring up the Vileplume, but they still can't hurt us this turn, and to pass on to our turn. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna Prism Energy this guy, and I'm going to pass. Yeah, let's Farewell Letter first, so my opponent can Lysandre this guy back up. And let's see, what do we get? There is another Blend Energy, okay. So it end my turn, on to my opponent's turn. I guess we could have put down the Mew, it does have free retreat. But my opponent can hit us for 60 max. There's a DCE, but if they don't put down the Pokemon, we can win next turn because Jolteon will do 140 damage to this Yveltal. There's an Yveltal EX coming down, Mewtwo coming down as well, and there's a Pitch Black Spear for 60 and 60 damage, probably going on to the Shaymin. Maybe the looks like it on the Jolteon instead. Okay, so on our turn, we are going to Blend Energy the active. We are going to free retreat into the Jolteon. And we will start using... Oh, man. Oh, I forgot we don't have a D... Oh, man, I misplayed last turn. Oh, my goodness. I misplayed. I should attach the DCE to turn 4. I thought we had a DC, I thought we had a DC play... Oh, we thought we had a DC, okay, that was a mistake on my part. Wow. I didn't notice we did... Okay, I messed up there. I didn't realize. I thought we had a DC attached. That's my bad. I apologize for that. We should have just attached a DCE. I don't know why I attached that guy. But there's a Dark Energy on that guy. We should still be okay. My opponent can't knock us out this turn. So we see a Sycamore going to discard the hand, draw 70 cards. That was just another Pitch Black Spear. But now my opponent can't hurt us anymore, which is great. Alright, so that's going to happen. I guess what we can do is we can just put this guy here, and yeah, we'll just start going for a Flash Ray. I will knock out this guy. My opponent cannot hurt us anymore with their basics, so they will need like a Zork or something. We'll go down to 5 price cards. Let's see, there is a DCE. My opponent licenses up a Shaymin or Yveltal or Manaphy. We could just retreat out of it. On to my opponent's turn. Let's see what happens. The big question is, do they play 2 Lysandres? If they play 2, they can knock out this Vileplume, which would be kind of bad because we don't have another one able to get off this game. So let's see what my opponent decides to do. They've already played their 1 Lysandre, most likely. There's a Darkrai coming down, which that could be the difference. Night Spear could be different because they could, start doing 90-30 to the bench. There's a DC to the active. We could see a Y Cyclone, but nope, just goes for an Evo Ball. My opponent must not realize what's happening. We'll go for... Yeah, let's just go for a Flash Ray for 70. We'll do 140 damage. Alrighty, and to my opponent's turn. Like I said, if they can power this Darkrai, we might be somewhat in trouble because they can start hitting the bench for 30 damage, but I'm still not that scared. They can't play lasers, they can't put to sleep. They can maybe play Xerosic, but we have three blends on this guy. There's another blend coming to our hand. This is all prisms. No, there's a blend, prism, okay? And we see a DC going on Mewtwo. Doesn't really matter, and an Evo Ball, but that does not going to matter. Now, my opponent did put down a Silent Lab, so if they license somebody up, they could take the game, but they see my opponent conceding the game, realizing, like, hey, I can't do anything. I can't hurt you, Jolteon. This is pretty much going to be an auto win. Dark is most likely going to be an auto win, unless, your opponent plays 2 Lysandre, then maybe they can knock out the Vileplume. But even if they do, I guess they get most Darkrai decks don't play lasers anymore, so they really can't put your Jolteon to sleep. Like I said, the only real problem is that if my opponent Lysandre up the Manaphy or Shaymin, we could not retreat it. But I think, let me see something real quick. What's Manaphy's retreat cost? I can't remember off the top of my head as of right now. Let's press done. Manaphy has a 1 retreat cost, so we can probably just easily trade it. But we'll see what happens in the next game with this Mew box deck. Hopefully we attack with Mew. If not, Jolteon's just good as well. But we'll see what happens in the next game. Alright, pretty against Unown 7 playing a Lightning, Psychic, Colors, and a Water deck. This could be a Night March deck, but the only thing that's kind of confusing is Lightning and Water. Most Night March decks don't play Water Pokemon, and my opponent is going to go first. It might be a Mega Manectric deck. which might make things interesting. We'll start Mew, which is fine. We have a DCE, we have an Ultra Ball. We'll press done, and let's see what is it going to be. And oh, it's actually a plasma deck. Now this is still going to be the same concept as earlier. We just get out a Vileplume, get a what is it? Get a Jolteon out. We pretty much just win the game. We see a DC. What is that? A Plasma Energy, Muscle Band, Frozen City coming down, which could make kind of a difference. And they will see a Gloom come down as well. All right, so we're going to Ultra Ball. I'm actually going to discard Trainers Mail and the Sycamore, and let's see what's in our deck. I don't want to discard the Gloom right now because we don't know how many Glooms are in the deck, and we have one Gloom, we have one Vileplume prize, which we should be okay. How many Forest are in the deck is my question. We have 4 Forest, so we'll grab a Oddish. We'll put down the Oddish, Float Stone it, DC the yeah, well, DC the active, he get hit for 20. Shaymin setting up for 5 new cards, and let's see what do we find in here. Battle Compressor, Ultra Ball. We can, let's see. We get Ultra Ball, discard AZ, and the Battle Compressor to get out of Shaymin. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll grab a Shaymin. I know there's gotta be another. Is there no more Shaymins in here? There it is. Alright, there's Shaybay. So we'll grab a Shaymin. We'll Love Ball for a, what is it? For a Unown. Okay, so put down Unown, put down Shaymin. We're gonna set up, draw 5 new cards. Or 4 new cards, sorry. We're looking for Forest of Giant Plants. Coming to me, Forest of Giant Plants. Can we please find one? And there's one. Alright, so put down Forest of Giant Plants. We will put down the Gloom. Alright, we're going to Love Ball for another Unown, and then we're actually going to play an in. Or do we play in or not? My opponent didn't play any supporter cards, so I'm actually going to put down the Unown, and I am going to Sycamore. Yeah, we're going to Sycamore, discard our hand, draw 7 new cards. Looking for a Vileplume, and alright, so we got the Vileplume for sure, but we need somebody to retreat into. We need a Jolteon, that's the main thing. So let's Farewell Letter number 1. And I guess we could Float Stone a Shaymin. Okay, but we still need what is it? We still need a Jolteon, so put down an Unown. Yeah, let's go for another Farewell Letter. Or do we Computer Search for Vileplume right now? Let's just Computer Search for Vileplume so that we don't draw into it, so that way it's out of our hand. So yeah, let's grab the Vileplume. Vileplume, there you are. We have 2 Jolteon and 2 Ultra Balls. How many Trainer Mails are in here? There is 3 Trainers Mails, so can we please hit this? We have 2 Unowns to try this with. So let's go for a Farewell Letter number 1. Come to me. Okay, there's a Forest. Alright, so Farewell Letter number 2. Do we hit an Ultra Ball or not? And there is a Blend Energy. Alright, so we're going to Float Stone a Shaymin. We are going to put down a Vileplume. We will just free retreat into a Shaymin, and we will pass. Now, opponent could maybe take a knockout next turn, but they didn't play a supporter card turn 1. Oh, to my opponent's turn, let's see what happens. There's a Deoxys coming down, a DC going down Lugia, and just a pass on to our turn. Alright, so there is a Jolteon. Wow, that's a great top deck. So we'll put down the Jolteon. We will free retreat into the Mew. We will put a Prism Energy on the active, and we will go for a Flash Ray for 70. And I don't know what my opponent can do now, so Flash Ray coming down. We did get the turn with Vileplume, and we got that was a lucky top deck. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's a Cure coming down, which still can't hurt us, and a pass onto our turn. I'm going to start powering up this Jolteon, so put a DC on this. Oh, let's put a Blend Energy on this guy, and we'll go for another Flash Ray for 70. Alright, so my opponent needs to play another, an evolution card to hurt us, but if they do put down an evolution, we could change between Pokemon. There's a DC going to Lugia, and a pass onto our turn. Alright, so we get a Glaceon. Put a DC on this guy, and we'll go for another Flash Ray. Now 120, 130, 140, 150, 160. My opponent can knock out Jolteon next turn if they hit a Lysandre. There's a Vileplume and an Unown, so we might have to free retreat into the Jolteon so my opponent can't knock out our only Jolteon. That might be the correct play. Yeah, because if they hit a Lysandre, there's the opponent can see it in the game, and there you go. We take another game against a Plasma deck. Pretty much an all basic. I don't think they play anything else. Yep, just all basic. Do they play any Lysandres? They play one Lysandre, so they could have maybe brought up the Jolteon, like I said. But I think next turn I would have retreated to Jolteon and start attacking, just in case I did get the Lysandre play off the Lugia to knock out our only Jolteon. But then my opponent could start playing like their item cards and everything like that, so it would have been interesting to see what would have happened if my opponent would have stayed in the game. But there you go, we'll see one more game with the deck here in a second, and we'll see what happens, and hopefully our opponents do not concede the game. Alright, putting against Triple H 007. I guess it's Triple H as in the wrestler, but I'm not sure what they're playing. They are playing some kind of fighting deck, and we won the coin flip, so let's see, can we get the Tier 1 Vileplume or not? And let's see what's going to happen. Alright, so we get a Oddish. My opponent has no basic Pokemon, and we need to draw into a basic Pokemon because our hand is kind of weird. There's a fighting energy, so we still don't know what my opponent is playing, but there is a Team Flare Ground, which could be very bad for us. And looks like they got another mulligan. It might be a Primal Groudon deck. I think if we play against Primal Groudon, we should still be okay because they have Glaceon. Well, no, they have the regular Groudon, which could be very strange. I don't know how it's going to work. And let's see what, yes, we'll draw for Mulligan. Yes, we'll draw for Mulligan. Alright, and there is a Carbink, which cannot be hurt by EXs, but luckily, we do have Mew. So let's Trainers Mail. Oh man, there's Mew, but we can't grab it right now. This is going to be kind of bad because our hand is kind of full. Put that down. Put down a Float Stone. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll Shaymin 4-2. Can we hit a Mew or not? Our hand or an N. Either one would be a great card. And there is a Mew. We will blend. We will put a DC on that guy. We will Level Ball to get out a. I guess a Gloom seems fine. How many Vileplumes are in here? There's 2 Vileplume, okay. Glaceon and Manaphy are in here as well, okay. So grab the Gloom. We'll put the Gloom on the active. And do we Sycamore or not is the question. Yeah, sure, we should be okay. We have like, what, 4 more other cards we can draw it to. Alright, so there we go. We have an Ultra Ball, we have a Love Ball. I'm going to Battle Compressor, and with the Compressor, we're going to discard a Vileplume, and there we see my opponent conceding the game before anything even happens. Wow. Alright, so there you go. There's the power of Vileplume Mew. A lot of these games, opponents just automatically concede. Like I said earlier, a lot of these expanded decks don't play evolutions, and we have the Glaceon already in our hand. We have the Ultra Ball, so we could put down the Glaceon, making it where our opponent could not attack us, and we could have Ultra Ball for Vileplume. So there we go. I know this is not very fun to watch people get a turn 1 Vileplume and a Jolteon out, but hey, if that happens, you usually win the game. Like I said before, most decks don't play evolutions in expanded. It's mostly just like basic Pokemon like Yveltal. Mega Rayquaza could be an interesting one because I guess I don't know how Mega Rayquaza goes. I guess you get the Vileplume out. They can't really do anything turn 1. You can attack with Glaceon. They can't really hurt you, but Mega Rayquaza does. I mean, Mega Rayquaza does have an okay attack. So this is definitely a weird deck. Vileplume is what makes it happen. Like, Vileplume is such a broken card, just making it where your opponent can't play any training cards. Just shuts down so many different decks. And with the option of using Vileplume and or Jolteon, such a good combination. But hopefully during this Thursday, like I said, I know these games weren't very fun to watch because my opponent just kind of just auto-concedes. And that's what's happening a lot. My opponents just concede. As soon as they see Oddishes, they usually just, alright, I'm not playing anymore. I don't want to play against a deck that doesn't let me have items, which is, I guess I can understand that for sure. But hopefully you enjoyed this episode of Expanded Thursday. Have a great day. Shout out to Kevin one more time for giving me the original list. Alrighty, bye. Alright guys, just want to give a quick shout out to our 2 sponsors, 60 Cards and Yeti Gaming. The links are down below to their websites. Make sure you go check them out. Alrighty.